got something special for you today. My name is Tom Powers. I'm the documentary programmer of the festival. I want to acknowledge that today's event is taking place on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We are grateful to have this chance to work in the community. I want to remind you this film is eligible for the Gross People's Choice Award and the Gross People's Choice Documentary Award. You can vote for your favorite films at tiff.net/vote. I want to thank Cinetic Media for providing us with this film. You are the first audience in the world to see And We Go Green. Do we have any fans of Formula E in the house? Well, I have to say, whether you're a fan of Formula E or not a fan, and I came to this as someone who didn't know very much at all about Formula E, this is a film that works for everybody. It has a tremendous team both in front of the camera, in those cars, and behind the camera. Fisher Stevens, who has been here before, was last year with Before the Flood, another project with Leonardo DiCaprio, and of course Fisher Stevens won the Oscar for his terrific film, The Cove. And on this film, he's partnered with Malcolm Venville, who has made a lot of fiction features and is now crossing over into documentary. And we've also got with the team, executive producer Alejandro Agag. So I want to bring them all out. Directors Fisher Stevens, Malcolm Venville, executive producer Alejandro Agag, and producer Leonardo DiCaprio.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. I know you're all screaming for me. I know, I love you too. First of all, I'd love to thank Tom Powers, again, incredibly supportive of our film and the Toronto Film Festival, where you're going to be the first people to see the finished And We Go Green. We're very excited to have you here today. This film actually was an idea that Leo had. And Leo called me up one day and said, hey man, I'm in Brooklyn, I'm at this Formula E race, you should come down and see it. And I live in Brooklyn and I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. And I'm like, all right, where is it? And he goes, it's in Red Hook. And I went to Red Hook, and Red Hook was transformed. There was a racing track, there were bleachers, and there was a race going on very close to my house, and I had no idea what it was. And Leo said, this is our next movie. And I went, I know nothing about racing. I barely can drive. I've been put in jail a few times for bad driving, and I don't think this is for me, man. And he's like, no. We can actually make an environmental film and reach a different audience and tell a different story. And he introduced me, yeah, it was a great idea, and he introduced me to this guy. He introduced me to this guy, Alejandro Agag, who's not going to say anything right now, for once. Just kidding. But who you're going to get to know very well in the next 90 minutes in this film. And Alejandro is the visionary behind Formula E. And I met him, and then I met some of these drivers, and I thought, this could be cool, but I need help. So then I called my friend Malcolm Venville here, who is a race car fanatic and had dreams of being a race car driver. Unfortunately, it never worked out for him. But he did get to be close to cars now. And Malcolm has directed some incredible car commercials and shots, and as well as being done feature films. So we put a team together, and we embarked on this great journey, thanks to Mr. DiCaprio's idea. I'd like to thank a few people who, without, I would never be up here tonight. One is Gabriel Rhodes, the incredible editor. Chris St. John, our producer. Zara Duffy, our other producer. Mark Monroe, our writer. Damian Drake, who shot a lot of this along with some other incredible DPs that usually get paid a lot more money, but wanted to be near race cars as well. Dan Deacon, who's an incredible DJ. I don't know if you know Dan Deacon, but he did the music for this film. Skip Levacy and his team, Ren Kleiss, John Kamen and Radical Films, Rick Yorn, and I'd also really like to thank and have him say a couple words, Mr. Malcolm Venville, who was my partner in crime.
Thank you. Thanks to Fisher for bringing me onto this amazing project. Thank you to Leo for actually enabling this to be made and actually spending time following these guys around the world, shooting photography of amazing brand new cars, showing us the way forward in terms of mobility and clean air. These cars are clean, they're fast, the drivers are nutcases. There's three of them here tonight. The champion Jean-Eric Verne.
They're in the audience. They're in the audience. Jean-Eric Verne is in the audience.
And Sam Bird, the English driver. And Nelson Piquet from Brazil. I found all these guys mad, bad, and dangerous to know. They're quick, they're aggressive. There's no reason why Formula E shouldn't be as aggressive as Formula One. In fact, I think it's more so. I think it's more competitive and it's clean. So enjoy the movie.
And you'll get to meet some of the drivers afterwards, and you could, ask them questions and throw things at them if you'd like. And we're looking forward to taking questions after the movie, and enjoy it, have fun, and here we go, and we go green. Rock and roll!
Let me put the first question to Alejandro. You've put so much time into Formula E, and actually, let me ask you guys to step forwards into the light. You've put so much time into Formula E. Does this film accomplish things you were hoping it would?
Well, yes. Well, hello, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us to Toronto. This is a fantastic city. And actually, we'll stay always now in our memory because here we did the world premiere of this movie. But what I feel when I see this movie is, well, I'm very happy, actually. Because many people told me and told us that Formula E was going to fail. When we started the idea of Formula E, no one believed in Formula E. Only a few of us that were in Formula E, and me, I had my days, thought we were going to make it. And by watching this movie, looks like we made it. So, it's great. Yeah, and I just want to thank Fisher, Malcolm, Leo, the drivers, everyone that was working in the movie, because it's been a fantastic and great ride and so much fun to spend so much time together. We miss so much these guys. These drivers can tell you they used to be with us all the time in the races, and now they're doing other movies because that's what they do. And yeah, we miss you guys. Thank you.
I want to turn to Nelson, Sam, and Jean-Marc. We feel so close to you in this film. Nelson, can I start with you? What do you see when you watch this film?
It's a weird feeling. I mean, sitting over there, seeing your face and seeing your emotions going through the camera and remembering back a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, things you went through, sometimes it's even harder to look at, or the emotions are weird, because I remember going through those emotions. Sometimes you don't remember how bad it were or how tough they were, because everybody, all these seasons you go ups and downs. I won the first World Championship in Formula E season 1. Then there's highs, there's lows. Everybody goes through the roller coaster of emotions, and when you're sitting over there and watching you kind of putting it out there, it's I don't know, it's unnatural, and we're not acting. That was our real ourselves and what's going on really in the race weekends, and it's obviously, season 4 was Jev's and fifth, so it was great to see him over there, ups and downs, like he even had that in the season, but it's hard for us to be over there and seeing all these things. It's just, even when sitting over there from the beginning to the movie to the end, we feel weird, It's I don't know. It's hard to explain it.
Sam, let me ask you a different question. You know, we see in the film that Formula E is still emerging, maybe doesn't always get the respect that it deserves, and I wonder how you feel being in a Formula E driver.
Firstly, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you ever so much for coming along. I mean, for myself, I've been a part of Formula E since the very, very beginning. One of the only drivers that's taken part in every single race. And I think the best word to describe it is pride. I'm awfully proud of what we've been able to achieve in the series' very short lifespan so far. You know, we are 5 seasons in, and we've got a film at the Toronto Film Festival. No other series. So it's pretty cool. People will look back at these first 5 seasons, and in 40, 50 years' time, you know, the technology that we use right now will be antique. But right now, we're just the beginning. You look at your mobile phones in your pockets. You look at where they were 10 years ago, and look at where they are today. It's the same with the technology in Formula E cars. We're advancing at such a high rate now, and the technology that we're using is going into the production lines, and we're making the change for all the manufacturers to make better electric vehicles for tomorrow. So it is an awful sense of pride that I get watching this and being a part of this series.
Jev, as Nelson referred to, the 2019 season, you also came out on top. Congratulations for that. Picking up on what Sam was saying about the technology, I wonder if you can reflect on how the technology maybe has moved even from 2018 to what we saw then to 2019.
Yeah, well, absolutely. First of all, hi, everybody. I feel like... I don't know what you guys feel, but I feel like on the podium, you know, after winning a race, so absolutely love it.
But you're all winners this time.
Yeah, I know, but you know, it's nice to be an actor as well. So hopefully we can have more movies, Fishers. I mean, it would be great. And to answer your question, and to continue on what Sam was saying, just to give you a very clear example, I'm pretty sure. I mean, not everybody from you probably knew Formula E now. You know what Formula E is, but everybody knows Formula One. And Formula E is what Formula One was 20 years ago, as a journalist was saying rightly in an interview, was saying that Formula One was the incubator for all the new technologies that went into your road cars. And that's what Formula E we are doing today. We develop all the new technologies that you're going to have in your city, in Toronto in the next couple of years, being on the electric cars. And that's thanks to Formula E, everything that we find. I don't know, I hope that answers your question about the technology and what we do in Formula E.
Thank you. Fisher and Malcolm, you're watching the film tonight for the first time with an audience. What were you reflecting on as the way this film has come together since you've been editing up until just a few weeks ago, right?
It's very emotional for me. Also, I really miss these guys and this world. It was a world I knew nothing about, and it was really an incredible ride, and to get to work with Malcolm. And I love the music, I love the sound. It's just like to hear it in here, and I was kind of blown away. I love this space, this theater. It sounded great, and sharing it with people who are from the public. You know, I didn't have to invite everybody. I don't even know you people. That was incredible. Like, strangers seeing your film is an exciting experience, and you guys were a great audience. So I was really glad. A couple things I would have maybe trimmed now, but that's about.
I think for me, working with Fisher was an amazing experience because we worked together. I directed Fisher in an independent movie, and watching Fisher infiltrate the driver's world as an actor was just brilliant. Seeing him kind of dance around, because racing drivers are very strange creatures. Really, and they're built for speed, and they're built for winning, and nothing else is interesting to them. And getting near them is very close, and Fisher was incredible the way he drew them into the orbit of the film. And also when we met the drivers the first time, Fisher had never even been involved in motor racing, and nor had I, but Fish saw John-Eric Verne walking around the paddock, and he went, let's follow him. And he won the championship. I can't work it out. I can't work out.
Yeah. Alejandro, I paid quite a bit of money for that. Yeah. Well, I do want to say that these three people in particular on the stage and Lucas, they were sort of cast because I felt, and along with Andre, they were like movie stars to me. And you know, I cast a lot of movies, and I picked them, and then it was a matter of, like Malcolm says, is like gaining their trust and digging in, and you know, these guys really opened up to me, and I was so grateful. I mean, we could have kept going. We had a lot more footage, but it's so important that you get a real essence and a sense of the person, and we were so lucky to have these particular people willing to show us and you who they are and let me infiltrate their life. I mean, we were waiting for Jeb to wake up. Literally, he said, take the key. If you want to come in with your camera, do it. So we had the key.
Actually, everybody think it was a makeup, but it wasn't.
No, we like snuck in. We didn't wake them.
You waited to hear my ringtone to come in the room.
Yeah, because we knew when the alarm was set for, and we snuck in. Thank God he was alone. That was a rare morning. Yeah. Anyway, so it was no, but it was wonderful to have that intimacy, and then to have Alejandro like give us the access, and also let me into his living room and have him smoke like 16 cigars in one setting. Very good cigars. Yeah. Take 18. No, but it was a really wonderful experience, and I miss it. And you know, we'll do another something.
All right, let's bring up the house lights a little bit. I want to get a question in. I see someone waving with his phone, so you win for ingenuity. Stand up and short question, please.
It was really nice to see the Pope blessing the He blessed the movie.
Did the Pope bless your movie the way he blessed
That was an actor. That was Joey Pantoliano. Fantastic. No, can we get him to bless the movie, please? We got to get him to see the movie.
I'm sure Alejandro's got that covered.
I mean, the Pope loves Formula E. I mean, if we are the only car he ever blessed. It was probably the best day on the history of Formula E when we got the Pope. All these guys came and we met the Pope. It was incredible. So I'm sure we have some connection now there with the high up.
Okay, looking for hands. Okay, right here, sir. So the question to Jeff is, everyone, you're clapped when you see in the cards that you declined Formula One. Can you talk more about that decision?
Well, that really warmed my heart, actually. Thanks for this. Well, the reason is because he was not in the top team, and I have the feeling that I'm in the best Formula E team, that I could keep, doing what I was doing, meaning winning and trying to win more championships, which I've done this season, and it was definitely the right call. And I much rather write the history book of a sport like Formula E, which is, I'm sure, going to get bigger than Formula One, than just being one of the Formula One drivers and just feel the greed of driver and be meaningless. And at least we're racing as well to raise awareness on electric vehicles and new technology. And there is a lot more than just being a racing driver in that series, and I also loved it.
So the question is, can you get Formula E to Toronto?
Well, yes, we got it. We have been in the IndyCar race. You have already a city track. We could use that same one. So yeah, let's work on it.
Where's the mayor?
Okay, who's got a hand? Right here, ma'am.
The film was fantastic. I learned so much. I've actually taken the Formula 2000 course, so I look forward to a Formula E2. But my questions are for the drivers. Has it made you more conscious, in your home life about being environmentally friendly, and how?
Question for the drivers is, has being a Formula E driver made you more conscious in your home life about environmental concerns, and if you could explain how?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the past 5 years we've learned so much on how much emissions we've caused. I mean, our natural life causes, from cars to transportation to everything else involved, and obviously we are in the middle of this topic, you know, since 5 years. So we learned so much about it. So obviously, I think it's more the education we had, so that we, before these 5 years we've been with Formula E.
Can you fix the Brazilian government?
Oh, it's gonna take a couple of decades, I would say. But yeah, I would say obviously we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot, and I mean, even the way we drive. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know about them, but even when you're in the highway, I mean, we don't go full throttle straight away, or we know how to be more efficient. But
we don't wait too long, right?
But I think in general, I mean, we think about things, obviously, you know, it's in the back of our mind. I mean, there's a lot of things we cannot change from, you know, I think technology is going to help everybody be more cleaner, living a better quality life. But for sure, we've learned so much in these past 5 years that I mean, it's hard just to describe in an interview, but I mean, maybe they can elaborate a little bit more. But for sure, it makes us much more aware on everything that we do, how much better we can be, how much cleaner we can be, and how better quality, especially in big towns like Toronto, with the amount of cars and transportation that can be changed and can be evolved.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, when I was doing other series 5 years ago, I just thought of the environmental issues as other people's problems, other people's issues, and it's not. Now I'm directly involved in something that is trying to promote cleaner living and trying to help the environment. And it is my responsibility, and it is your responsibility, and it's everybody's responsibility. So yeah, I do feel like I've got I'm more conscious of it now. From doing little bits around the home to trying to beat this guy every year in a championship. You know, every little bit helps, but the winning is nice.
Well, I'm French, so I don't think I can explain better what Sam just said. I think exactly the same way, and I think it's good also that Fisher and Leo DiCaprio had this idea about this movie, because I remember the first time I was really hit by it and raised my consciousness when I saw your movie with Leo about Before the Flood, and that was an amazing thing that really opened my eyes and what we can all do, and I'm very happy to be part of what you've done about Formula E.
We have to wrap up here. You're the first audience in the world to see this film. You can vote at tiff.net/vote. Thank you for coming. Thanks to Jeff, Sam, Nelson, Alejandro, Malcolm, and Fisher.
Great job, right?